Hello there. Wanted to give you guys an update as to what I'm doing and where things are going with this channel. I've done a lot of traveling in the last year, but I haven't had the focus to get the editing done and get videos uploaded to all of you. Someone asked me to make a list of what I've been doing, so I thought that I would go back through the last year month by month and show what I've done in those months, because I've done a lot, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about what I want to do. And so if you stay till the end, I'll share my views on three goals I'm setting for myself, what's going to transpire in the upcoming years, and as I say, a review of what I've done over the last 12 months. So, hope you enjoy. Please stay tuned to the end. Like and subscribe, and I will catch up with you here later. Thank you.
So get off the interstate and explore, because every city has a story to tell. So I'm going to start out in June of 2022. The first thing I did that month was I went to the Troubadour Festival here in Georgetown, Texas. And this was a neat little festival, had country music, but you got in early and they had 40 top barbecue joints there, many of which were listed in the Texas Monthly Top 100 Barbecue Joints. So had to do that, had to try all that. Great opportunity to test out a whole bunch of different barbecue. And then I went down to Rockport, Texas for the month. Spent a lot of time there, exploring there and over in Corpus Christi. Driving back and forth, I stopped at Shiner Brewery and took a tour there, sampled a couple free beers there. And then I also got a chance to stop and tour the Goliad Mission, coming back and forth. And I got there like 15 minutes before they closed, but they let me in, and I was able to look around and get a good little tour of that, although it was very brief. July 22 was a very busy month. Started off taking the trailer up to Independence, Kansas, where I stayed at Elk City State Park. That's so I could go and spend the 4th of July with my family at Havana Lake and shoot fireworks there. A friend of mine we went down to the Tulsa Air and Space Museum that same weekend, and then it was time to head out to Colorado. My first stop was in McPherson, Kansas. I went and toured the Lindsberg Old Mill and the Lester Raymer Red Barn studio there. Also stopped at the San Zane Gallery. And it was kind of interesting. So a guy had followed me down from Fort Davis when I was down there touring. And he, amazingly enough, had signed in on the guest book at the San Zane Gallery. And so I sent him a text message on Facebook and said, "Hey, are you in town?" And so I had never gotten to meet him before, and actually was fortunate enough to meet him that time. And then I also went up and ate at the Cozy Inn in Salina, which has been serving slider hamburgers up there for, I think, close to 100 years. The next stop was out in Colby, Kansas, so that I could go tour the Kansas Badlands. Went to Monument Rocks, and then I also went down to the Little Jerusalem State Park. Took tours of the Fick Museum there and the Prairie Museum of Art. And then from there, the last leg of the trip to make it out to Central City went smoothly. I went down to the Fillmore in Denver and got to watch Itch.io perform, which is a band of 60-plus members that are performed incognito and have Chinese dragons, and it's just a fun show. And then a friend of mine invited me out to Cripple Creek, Colorado. I stayed at the Victor Hotel, and she had just opened up a bed and breakfast in Cripple Creek called the Copper Pearl. So there was a masquerade party there, and from there traveled down to the Colorado Renaissance Fair on the way back and got to take a tour of it. And then the final event in July was that I went down to Union Station in Denver and got to see Big Boy 4014, the old steam engine train, as it was sitting in Denver. So just a fun overall month and really, really enjoyed it. August 2022, got to see some different things. Went and saw the Central City bed races for a little bit. Then I went down to HearseCon in Denver and a whole bunch of old hearses driving around. My friend Doug invited me up to go see the Shaw Classic weightlifting competition in Loveland. Some of the competitors for the World's Strongest Man were there. Then I carried the banner for the Littleton Western Welcome Week Parade. I was up front helping celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Club of Littleton. I was able to go see the Illumination movie and tour the Denver Art Museum. I also got to see Slim Cessna's Auto Club at the Levitt Amphitheater, and I played golf at Fossil Trace Golf Club. For the month of September 2022, I did a lot of research for the Littleton Rotary's 100th anniversary party, digitized a lot of paper files that they had. I was able to go see the Reverend Horton Heat and the Toadies. Plus, I traveled back from Colorado back to Texas. I stopped in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Got to get some pictures of the Plaza Hotel. Was able to see the Southwest Chief pull through town. Got some pictures of the Carnegie Library, which is still used as a library. Not very often that happens anymore. Found out that the town of Las Vegas was used for the movie Red Dawn in the 1980s. And then a building that I considered purchasing at one point in time now has the Fat Crow Press that does concert posters and so forth in there. I found a really neat Billy the Kid poster that I bought there. From there, I traveled down to Carlsbad, New Mexico, so that I could go tour the Guadalupe Mountains. Then I stayed at McKinney Falls State Park so that I could take an Uber down to the Whiskey X Festival downtown at the convention center. Was able to see Young the Giant there and taste quite a few excellent whiskeys. October 2022 started off with some fun activities. Got to go to the Wahlberg Oktoberfest. Got to go over to Cedar Park and see the Texas Stars play hockey against the Colorado Eagles. Got to the RV show at the Dell Diamond, and then went downtown to the Paramount Theater and watched the Rebirth Brass Band and Scroll Nut Zippers play, which was an excellent concert, with the exception of my car got booted that night because the payment for some reason didn't go through their website. But enjoyed it overall. And then at the end of the month for Halloween, I decided to go out to Los Angeles with a friend of mine. Went to a burlesque show out there. Took the TMZ tour, bus tour, which TMZ stands for the 30-mile zone, which the Screen Actors Guild used for many years. There's a neat display of movie props called the Icons of Darkness. And the main reason I went out there was to see Danny Elfman show at the Hollywood Bowl, which is just an absolutely stunning facility to go watch a concert at. And I've been to a lot of good concert venues. Went to the Day of the Dead celebration at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. A friend of mine from high school went and took us on a tour of a lot of the old movie horror houses. We went by the Nightmare on Elm Street house, the Halloween house, the Charmed house, the Thriller video house, as well as the wall where they filmed that. We went by the Cecil Hotel, which is used in American Horror Story. Just a whole lot of fun. And behind the Halloween house is the Sugar Mint Gallery, which it's all artwork based on the movie Halloween. So that was a lot of fun. And stopped by the Witch House, which is right off Route 66. Definitely something you should see. and got back in Texas just in time to hand out candy for Halloween. In November, I made a trip back out to Denver for 2 reasons. One was the 100th anniversary party of the Rotary Club of Littleton, and just am thrilled that the club made it, and what a wonderful celebration it was. And I had some work to do out there. But on the way out, I stopped in Tucumcari on Route 66 and went to the Mesalands Dinosaur Museum, stayed at the Motel Safari, which is one of the top 3 motels there in Tucumcari, along with the Blue Swallow and the Roadrunner, if you ever get a chance to do that. And then I also stopped in at the Route 66 Museum there in Tucumcari. When I got back to Texas, I went to the Kalahari Wine Festival with some friends. That was a lot of fun. And then for Thanksgiving, we went up to Tulsa, and I went down onto Route 66 and shopped at Buck Adams in Decapolis, buying some artwork, and they had the Buck Adams with the Rocket Santa back in stock, so I purchased that as well there. In December, someone that I met through my time refereeing roller derby, he and I went to the Big 12 championship game where I got to watch K-State beat TCU to win the Big 12. While I was up there, I also went to the National Video Game Museum, so that was a lot of fun. Spent a lot of time in December watching World Cup matches, and went downtown. It went to the Domain in Austin to watch the finals with a friend there. Was in Tulsa for Christmas, and got to spend time with family, putting together puzzles, playing Wizard, just having a grand time. The only bad thing was the temperature was really cold. It was so cold that the fire suppression system pipes froze at my hotel. And so was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to stay there, but it was just the fire suppression system. And then at the end for New Year's, I decided to go down to New Orleans since K-State had won, and go down to the Sugar Bowl and see them play at the Superdome. Along the way, I stopped at Bayou Rum and also at the Tabasco factory to get their family reserve, which you can't really get anywhere else. And then I spent New Year's Eve on Bourbon Street. So in January 2023, I started off with a New Year's Day walk down Royal Street checking out the art galleries. I then started driving back to Austin, stopped at the Whitney Plantation, and was back in Austin for a week before I drove up to Dallas to meet my nephew and fly out to Atlanta for a couple of days. Went to the Trap Music Museum there, went to a Shakespeare dinner theater, went to the Stranger Things experience, the Georgia Aquarium, and then we finally got to see the B-52s at the Fox Theater, which was incredible. Casey and the Sunshine Band opened up for them, and this incredible DJ Cumberbun. Just a lot of fun show. Did some other, had someone to do some fun things with. Driving back from Dallas to Austin, stopped at Waco and got some cupcakes at the Silos at Magnolia. Had some occasions, go out to lunch at the Oasis on Lake Travis. Found a cool little tea shop called Z, and went down to New Braunfels for a piano bar sidecar. I did a talk at the Rotary Club of Sun City on cybersecurity, and then took some pictures at the first of 3 Pistons on the Square that I've been at this year, which is car show from 8 to 10 a.m. on the Georgetown Square. So in February 2023, started off with celebrating my parents' 60th anniversary. I ordered a pie caken, which was pecan pie, cheesecake, and red velvet cake. Then took a friend out to Llano, Texas, and saw the slabs. Made my first trip to Round Rock Donuts, considering I've been down here for 6 years. That's kind of amazing. More ZT and Kunikonyo, which is a Japanese bookstore. Watched the Super Bowl with some friends. Went to my second Pistons on the Square of the year. Went down to the RV show down at the Austin Convention Center and drove down to a market down in Shiner where I had dinner with a friend, Angela Rogers. Saw her again a week later when went to Houston for the Maggie Rogers concert, and as I saw her at 2 more art markets there. So overall, a really fun February. In March of 2023, through the Round Rock Rotary Club, I was able to check out the Round Rock Emergency Response Center. My niece came down from Colorado and got to play some volleyball at the University of Texas campus. So I got to see my youngest niece and nephew from my 2 sisters. Went to Pistons on the Square again and the Georgetown Photography Festival. This is the 4th year of the Photography Festival, and I've been to 3 of them. Went and saw Taylor Tomlinson in concert. Made another trip up to Dallas and found Waco ice cream, which is really good. Another fun stop in Waco. Went down to Flatstock at South by Southwest and picked up some more art. One of the great concert poster shows that you can find. And then spent St. Patrick's Day in Round Rock. Started off April 2023, April 1st, going to the Sherwood Forest Renaissance Fair. Fun show. Got to see some shows at the Three Stags Bar, the Washing Wenches, the Falconry Show. A great time had there with some friends. Got to go down to the Wimberley Valley Winery for dinner one evening and had dinner at the Leaning Pear. Then I made a quick road trip up to the Caverns to see the Church in concert up in Tennessee. Drove about 30 hours in 4 days in order to make that happen, but what an incredible concert, what an incredible concert venue. Just, I say, unbelievable. Anyhow, on the way back, I stopped at Shiloh Civil War Battlefield. It's the 8th Civil War battlefield I think that I've been to. And then I celebrated my 55th birthday, did a I Can't Be 55 party, and then went to the Texas Whiskey Festival where I tried about 30 different whiskeys in a couple hours. So definitely a fun April and getting to the end of this year in review. Okay, now we're going to discuss the upcoming month of May. I am going to Romania. I ended up getting a Facebook ad 2 years ago about going to Romania for the Elvira's 20th anniversary of making a movie over there. And so I'm going to be having dinner at Dracula's Castle with Cassandra Peterson. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then potentially going out to Denver to see the Violent Femmes play the entirety of their first album. So if you have any questions you'd like me to ask Cassandra Peterson, let me know. Additionally, if you saw something that in this year in review you'd like me to go back and expand on and give more details about, please let me know. But that's it for the whole year. Thank you very much. And my final comments are coming now.
Thank you for making it to the end of my video here. I really appreciate you all spending the time to watch. As I said, there's 3 goals that I'm going to set for myself. The first is I want to go to all of the 424 parks in the National Park System. So far I've been to 79 of them and been to 27 of the quote-unquote national parks, but I want to make it to all 424, and so I'm going to spend my time doing that. The other goal I want to set for myself is I still like to do international travel. And I think a fun way to do that is, I don't know if you've heard the High Kings Irish pub song, but it basically, because of the potato famine in Ireland, the Ireland dispersed all across the world. And as such, there's an Irish pub in almost every country. So I want to set a goal of getting a Guinness World Record for drinking a Guinness in the most Irish pubs in the countries of the world. So that's my second goal. And the third goal is I see a huge disconnect. I see people like myself who spend a lot of time and collect things, but then when they get older and unhealthy and time to pass those things along, their family doesn't want them, or they just don't know what to do with it. And there are 35,000 museums in the United States, and just as many probably across the rest of the world. And so I want to set up an organization to match collectors with museums, so all that time and energy that they spent putting these collections together is not lost, and that those items can continue on and be enjoyed by others. So that's my 3 goals, and I appreciate you spending the time to see what I've been up to. And anyhow, thank you very much, and have a great day.